Canada. This is the first of 5 presentations this weekend. Let's begin with a word of prayer. Holy God, we thank you that you might guide, direct and bless us. As we study your word, as we see prophecy unfolding before us, as we try to better understand what's in your mind, we pray for wisdom and collective understanding. In Jesus' name, Amen. I can't hear you too well, Shemaine. Just let you know. I don't know how many of us here have watched the 9 presentations that were done recently in Slovakia. Just put your hand up if you haven't watched them all. And put your hands up if you haven't watched any. Okay, so most people have watched at least some of the studies. I don't know what impression you got when you did watch the ones that you saw. But some of the feedback that I got was that the pace of the conversation was what I would describe as fast-paced. Too fast for many people. So I originally had, I think 3 presentations here, but it's gone to 5. Gone to 4 and then a Q&A. So I wanted to take an opportunity here to review some of the material that was discussed in Slovakia. To try to get the people here in person up to speed and people who are listening online. I think it's really important, if you're interested, to really understand what's going on in the movement. You will have gathered now that a singular study, a singular viewpoint is not being promulgated, it's not being pushed upon the movement as in the past. The way that I have chosen to deliver this message, the Sunday Law message, is very different to what we've done in the past. When I spoke about the Slovakian camp meeting, There were 9 presentations that were done, which were the ones that I just asked you about. But the weekend before that camp meeting, I and a group of other members were in Slovakia, and we had 3 studies together. They're all online, but they're separate to the 9 studies that I mentioned a moment ago. I don't know how many people have watched those 3 presentations. Out of those 3, in fact, out of the 12, if you put them all together, the 3rd presentation I think is the most important. Would it be the 4th? Is it number 4? Okay. Oh, sorry. Yes, that's yeah. Because I knew I only did 3 presentations. The first one was too long, so it got split into 2. So it would be the 4th study. Sorry. So it's the Slovakian weekend, and it's study number 4. And the reference passage was Hebrews chapter 8. So the context of that study was a question that was asked of me several months ago, which people felt that I had avoided answering. And it's connected to the subject of diet. So the question was, if I can paraphrase it, what am I supposed to eat now, or what am I allowed to eat now? And I explain my reasoning in this study. And what I want to say in connection to the subject of Revelation 17 but specifically in connection with the dissemination or our understanding of the Sunday law issue, and the reason why we're doing it this way, if I can put it like that, is because I think the time period in which we live demands that each of us individually and collectively have a level of maturity. So if I say the same thing in a slightly different way, I don't think it's fair for you to be spoon-fed information. I think it's important that competent teachers stand before you and share what they understand. But I think it's important that you as an individual are able to make decisions for yourselves. That study was about food, and that was the conclusion of that study based upon Hebrews chapter 8. But I think it applies equally to the subject of the Sunday law. That we're not going to have a lead figure stand before you and say, this is the truth. Perhaps another way to describe it is that all the background jostling that's happened in the past, discussions, perhaps disagreements, all those things that you would never see normally, I want to make, at least to make it more transparent, if not totally transparent. So that you become participants in the collective understanding of what we believe is truth. If you don't want to do that and you just want to come along for the ride, that's your right. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. But I think you deserve more. It'll cost you more. And it's not that easy to be part of the decision-making process in trying to understand what is right and what is wrong. So in a group this size, often we'll get about 3 or 4 people that speak, and the rest of you won't say anything, won't say much. That's what happens normally. But I always try to invite people to participate. If I ask you by name, if you want to give some input, if you don't, just say no, there's no pressure. So you know that there have been 5 speakers in the movement over the last maybe 7 months now who have shared their understanding of the Sunday law question. Some of them disagree on major points. Others are much more aligned in their thinking, even though they may describe things differently. I assume, I expect, that everybody here has listened at least once to all of those 5 speakers. Unless something has gone wrong, each of those 5 speakers will have taught at your local fellowship here in Canada. when I've reviewed the schedule of those speakers, I did check, and all five claim that they have. So I'm hoping you'll have at least some familiarity with what they are all teaching. If you have any questions or comments, just put your hand up or just shout out, and I'll stop and I'll give you an opportunity to speak. I should have clarified this before. When they speak, did they need the roving mic? Yep. So Maurice will bring, if you want to say something, Maurice will come over and give you a mic to speak through, please. Does anybody have any questions at the moment? Maka? Oh, sorry, Jonathan, I didn't see his hand. So when you speak, remember that not to use long sentences, because what you're saying now will be translated. Go ahead. Oh, you're the one that's doing the work. Oh, sorry, Maka had her hand up.
I was just going to get you to list the five, just so there's no confusion, the five speakers.
Because we're talking about teachers, I'm not going to give them their titles. One of them is an elder. You're probably all aware of that. I'll try and do it in alphabetical order. Yes, thank you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so that's the five speakers in alphabetical order. Any other questions? Comments? Okay, so I want to ask a question. They're all saying something either slightly different or very different. But there's one common thread that runs through all of the five speakers. What is that? What is the thing that, I guess, binds them all together, or they all have a common perspective on? Gloria, have your hand up?
All five speakers speak about something about elections.
So, I agree with what Gloria said. It seems to me, and Gloria, that what's common about what all of them teach is the 2024 US elections. All of them have their study connected to that event. But they all have slightly different views. I have a question. They all have these different views of the Sunday law issue as it relates to the US election. They have different dates, as you all know. That seems to be the most obvious difference. So maybe if we could just list 4 dates. Who'd want to have a go at that? I'm sure people here know.
July 18.
Sorry, 18th July. 5th of November. 17th of December. I'll put 25 on that one because it's the next year. Everybody knows that. So they're the 4 dates that are in play, if I can say it that way. We all agree that each of those dates is connected in some way to the 2024 US election. Hopefully we agree with that. So this was, if I put the RNC, does everybody know what that means? The Republican National, we'll call it a party that they had. The November was the actual election. Someone tell me what this December is. Debbie? Oh, let's put it on.
Electoral College ratifying the election results.
Let's call it the ratification of the election by the Electoral College. Does everybody understand what that is? We've discussed it numerous times in the movement over several years. We understand that in the United States it's not one person, one vote. They have this extra layer which complicates and distorts people's votes. I don't want to use the word distort because it has a negative connotation, but it adjusts. And January? I can't hear. Who's speaking? The inauguration. I don't know how to spell inauguration. Someone's going to help me. Is that good? Okay. The inauguration. So, who thinks it's salvational? If I spell it correctly? Is that spelling good or not good? Is the spelling okay? I-N-A-U. Everything else is good after that? Is that better? Okay. Is it salvational if you get it wrong? Tell me what you think. So someone says, speaker one, whoever speaker one is, says it's July. That's the Sunday law. And someone else says it's November. So if we put it on a line that we're all sort of familiar with, I'll put three-way marks. Sunday law, loud cry, close of probation. And I'll do a dotted line to indicate the increase of knowledge. Very familiar. So this way mark here, I didn't include, I can't remember the date, but the month is August, which was the Democrats' National Convention. I didn't include that, but we could have done. The only reason I didn't is because I don't think any of these 5 speakers focus on that event. Either someone here or if they're listening, they can correct me on that. So, it's this way mark that we're discussing, the Sunday law. And these speakers are giving different dates that they would mark as the Sunday law. Did that clarify the question, Sakai? Is it salvational? If you get the wrong one. I'll say the same question in a different way. Are you teaching error? You being one of these 5 people. If your study focuses or says it's the wrong date, the wrong event. Gloria?
Yes, it depends. I'm asking you if you could go over the repeating patterns of when the test comes. If the test comes at the Sunday law waymark, this would be what day we choose would be a salvational issue. If we put the test at loud cry, as we understand and have been taught, I don't know. I guess it doesn't matter. I mean, our test is still ahead of us. We have time to come to a consensus.
So if I can summarize what you said, tell me if I'm correct. You believe that the test, I presume you mean the Sunday law test, Ellen White might call it the great test. You believe that that test is ahead of us. So we're not being tested on the Sunday law yet. And therefore, this waymark that has an arrow pointing to it, it's not salvational to know whether it's July, November, December or January. Did I get that right?
Sort of. I believe that Sunday law waymark is July 18, and the test is at the loud cry.
What did I say that was not in agreement with what you said when you said sort of?
That whichever date that we choose is not salvational? You asked that question? So in essence, I would say it is salvational.
So you change your opinion?
Yes, I would say.
Okay, so you believe it is salvational?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, so if I can just... Okay, okay. So, tell me if this is part of your thinking. To understand what the loud cry would be, the event, you have to take some steps to get there. And if the start of your journey is wrong, the end of your journey will be wrong. So, whether or not the test is in the future or not, it doesn't seem to make a difference. Because if you start at the wrong date, you'll be going down the wrong path. And therefore, for you, it's salvational. Did I get that right?
Yes.
Okay. For everybody online, I was just reiterating or rephrasing what Gloria said. They're not my thoughts. Debbie.
I was going to say no, it's not salvational, and the reason being the Sunday law has become very complex. And not all of the 5 speakers, but some of them have brought forward the idea of a period of time. And bookending different dates. And I think there's merit in that. And just picking up on what was just said, I think of the agricultural model where it explains to us different people coming in at different places into the message, but all ending up into present truth. So at the moment, my thinking is that it's not salvational. I think there's merit in each of the 5 speakers' studies. I think there is merit in each of the 5 speakers' studies.
All finished? Yeah. Does everybody understand what Debbie just said? Okay, so nobody said no. So let's unpack a little bit of what she said. I take it then everybody understands what the term bookend means. So I try to sketch that. So if I were to do this, and I'll call that start and end. I call it alpha and omega, so you'll know what that means. Is that what you mean, Debbie, when you said bookend? So we're taking a singular waymark called the Sunday law, and we're saying that's a period of time. Is that what you've described?
Yes.
So I'll put time. And you said several speakers teach this.
Yes.
Could you tell me who?
Aryan, I believe Aaron as well, has not had any difficulty with that. And I do believe Elder Terry is bringing that out.
So, from your understanding of what's been taught, Arian, Aaron, and Terry teach that the Sunday law is a period of time.
I would also add Curtis.
One second. Okay,
I'm not sure if they would, in my understanding, I'm not sure if they would all put it simply that the Sunday law is a period of time.
Have I misunderstood the term bookend then?
No. I think with Elder Terry, possibly there's a greater emphasis on a specific date, but she does as well bring in a period of time. I think, from my understanding, Elder Terry brings in a specific date.
Selon ma compréhension, je pense que l'ancienne Terry introduit une date bien spécifique.
But I believe also that she agrees with the idea of a period of time.
Mais je pense qu'elle est également d'accord avec l'idée d'une période de temps.
Forgive me, you mentioned a second element in your initial response. First was the concept of bookending, and you mentioned something else. I've forgotten what that was.
Donc dans ta réponse initiale, tu as dit autre chose par rapport au début et la fin du plan. Et j'aimerais savoir ce que c'est.
Can you remember, or someone else?
I brought in complexity.
Tu l'as dit ou bien quelqu'un d'autre pourrait le faire.
I brought in complexity of the Sunday law itself.
Okay, wasn't that?
Introduit le sujet de la complexité dans la question de la LD.
And then I mentioned the agricultural model.
That's it.
Et j'ai mentionné donc le modèle de l'agriculture.
So you mentioned about agriculture,
Donc tu as mentionné l'agriculture.
and you mentioned agriculture because you said in that model,
Tu as mentionné l'agriculture car tu as dit que dans ce modèle,
people come in at different times,
les personnes arrivent à des périodes de temps différentes,
but they all end at the same point.
mais elles vont finir au même point.
I actually didn't say bring it to the end. I said they end up in present truth. So they're on the path.
Arriver à la fin, mais j'ai dit qu'elles vont finir dans la vérité présente.
Okay, so they come in at different times and they're all on the path.
Yes.
Elles arrivent toutes à un moment différent et elles sont toutes sur le sentier.
That's all you said?
Yes. My reasoning was in reference to
I'll just ask a couple more questions on that. What agricultural model is that you're referring to?
Alors, de quel modèle
plowing,
fais-tu référence?
early rain, latter rain, harvest.
Alors, le labourage, la première pluie, la PAS et puis la passion.
And you said they are on the path.
Et tu dis qu'ils sont sur le sentier.
Us.
Where's the path in this agricultural model?
Mais où est donc le sentier dans ce modèle de l'agriculture?
It would be the thread of present truth.
Ça serait donc le fil de
I mean,
la
it,
vérité présente.
You know you can't do that.
Non, tu ne peux pas faire ça.
You can't add another model onto this model.
Tu ne peux pas ajouter
yes.
un autre modèle.
I was making an analogy, but it probably doesn't work.
And the they aren't travelling along this path
Ne voyage pas tout au long de ce sentier.
if it's an agricultural model.
S'il s'agit du modèle de l'agriculture.
Because then the question is who the they would be.
Parce que la question serait donc qui sont ces îles?
It starts with the seed, so I guess. Yes, the seed starts with the seed.
Ça serait donc la semence.
The seed starts here.
Mais la semence, elle commence là.
No, at the beginning of the early rain.
Commencement de la première pluie.
My only point is that the seed do not begin at the beginning in an agricultural model.
Le point que je suis en train de dire, c'est que la semence ne commence pas au commencement du modèle de l'agriculture.
So you have to be careful to say that they travel along this path.
Donc il faut que tu sois prudente quand tu dis que il ou elle voyage sur tout le long.
I understand.
Because the model's teaching something different.
Parce
So you said that people join at different stages.
Yes.
Person one, we'll start here. You tell me when. My question is, when did they join? You tell me when to stop.
Alors ma question c'est quand est-ce que ces personnes rejoignent le sentier? Tu me dis quand est-ce que je dois m'arrêter?
Sorry, I'm not understanding. Person one,
You said that everybody joins at a different time.
Tu as dit que tout le monde rejoint.
and we would define joining as baptism?
Est-ce que tu définis le mot rejoindre par le baptême?
You said the path.
Tu as dit le sentier.
So I just went along with that.
Yes.
So if the path began here,
Si le sentier là il commence
some random person,
personne là au hasard,
they join.
elle rejoint.
Tell me when I'm going to carry on moving my pen and you tell me when to stop. That indicates when they've joined.
Donc je vais continuer, je vais avancer mon stylo et tu me dis quand est-ce que je dois m'arrêter. Ça signifie le moment où ces personnes rejoignent.
I'm going to begin. Oops.
Je vais commencer.
It doesn't like my pen. Okay, tell me when to stop.
Dis-moi quand est-ce que je dois m'arrêter.
There.
No, I mean, I'll tell you when to stop. Yes. Stop.
Ok, arrête-toi.
Person number two.
Alors la personne numéro 2.
There.
Stop.
Yeah? So, person number two, that's their history, and that's the history of number one. That's what you told us?
Correct.
So, person number two has never received an early rain.
Actually, I was having it stop between early rain, latter rain, like still in that dispensation.
Here?
Sure.
Il y a ce début là, durant la période de la pluie de la première.
But you are correct. They had not entered during the early rain period. Or they may not have heard all of the early rain messaging.
I'll ask my question. Can someone reach maturity if they haven't had an early rain?
No. They have to catch up.
And if you just threw some seeds on the ground, would it take root and flourish, ready for harvest? If the ground hadn't been prepared properly beforehand?
In the natural world, it's possible. But in the spiritual world, it wouldn't be ideal. The plowing has to prepare the ground.
Sorry, you said the farmer has to plough the ground first
Yes.
in the natural world.
Yes.
So, I didn't mean to labour the point,
je voulais pas étiqueter le point,
but the way you've understood the agricultural model
mais la façon dont tu comprends le modèle de l'agriculture
isn't correct.
n'est pas correct.
I was gathering that.
You can't join at different stages.
Tu ne peux pas rejoindre à différents.
So if I may
So what you can't do
Ce que tu ne peux pas faire,
is take the date that you joined
c'est prendre la date à laquelle tu es rentré
and Jonathan joined
et la date de celle de Jonathan
and put them on an agricultural model or line as shown on this whiteboard.
et les placer dans le modèle de l'agriculture comme c'est écrit, comme c'est montré là.
If you expect to get to harvest,
Si tu veux t'attendre à arriver à la moisson,
you literally,
toi, hein, littéralement,
you have to have begun here.
tu dois commencer au labourage.
You have to go the whole experience.
Il te faut traverser toute l'expérience.
And we know, or I assume,
Et nous savons et je pense
that Jonathan arrived in the movement on a different date than you did.
que Jonathan il est arrivé dans le mouvement à une date différente de la tienne.
But if he wants to get to harvest,
Et s'il veut parvenir jusqu'à la moisson,
his line has to look exactly the same as yours.
sa ligne doit ressembler exactement à la tienne.
In fact, everyone's does.
Tout le monde,
So the agricultural model actually teaches
le modèle d'agriculture nous montre
that everybody starts at the same point.
que tout le monde commence au même point.
And that point isn't a literal date,
Et ce point, ce n'est pas une date littérale.
which is what these two lines were describing.
C'est ce que décrivent ces deux lignes.
Okay, so if that makes sense to everybody,
Si ça a du sens pour tout le monde,
so you listed 4 people, you didn't list Eleanor, so I assume you don't know if Eleanor bookends like this.
donc tu as mentionné, tu n'as pas mentionné Lina, donc peut-être que tu ne sais pas si comment c'est fini de cette manière.
Anybody else have a comment on this?
Est-ce que d'autres personnes ont un commentaire dessus?
So Debbie said, we'll leave the agricultural a bit aside.
On laisse de côté le modèle de l'agriculture
Because the Sunday law message is complicated,
parce que le message de la LD
and because at least 4 of the speakers are bookending this singular waymark,
parce que 4 des speakers ont commencé et fini cette balise.
therefore if one is teaching one date and another is teaching another date, it doesn't matter.
Par conséquent, si l'un ou l'une enseigne une date et un autre une autre date, ça n'a pas d'importance.
Is that a fair summary of what you said?
Alors, est-ce que c'est un résumé correct de ce que tu as dit?
So, does anybody disagree with what Debbie said, that these 4 teachers are teaching this model that's shown on the board?
Alors, est-ce que quelqu'un est en désaccord avec ce qu'a dit David, que ces 4 enseignants enseignent
When you've listened to the speakers,
quand vous regardez
do you think that's what they're teaching?
vous pensez que c'est ce qu'ils enseignent
Or are they teaching something different?
ou bien ils enseignent quelque chose de
I think Gloria says it's different,
Je pense que Gloria a dit que c'est différent,
at least for Terry.
au moins pour Thierry.
I don't know what impression others have got.
Je ne sais pas quelle est l'impression des autres.
So we'll take Kathy. Did you have your hand up, Mac? I wasn't sure. Okay.
They do have their own date. Each speaker has a date that they focus.
Alors, chaque
I'm not sure about Curtis, but I know the first three do say they're okay with bookending the dates.
Alors, je ne suis pas sûre si les autres disent que la date va commencer, la finir dans la période.
Finished?
Mhm.
Kathy, are you okay with bookending dates?
Alors, toi, Cathy, est-ce que tu es d'accord avec une date qui commence et se
Yes.
What does it mean to you to bookend? If I asked you, tell me what event was the Sunday law,
Alors, dis-moi quel événement qui va commencer et finir.
you would say, like, I like dates.
Je veux des dates.
You would say,
November 5th.
you say November 5th.
C'est-à-dire le 5 novembre.
That's not bookending.
Mais ça,
No.
c'est pas commencer et finir.
So I'll give you another go.
Donc, je te donne une autre chance.
But it's part of the election process, all those dates.
Mais ça fait partie du processus électoral, cette date.
I'll do it again. Kathy, tell me what the Sunday law date is.
Alors, je le dis différemment. Donc, Cathy, dis-moi quelle est la date de la LD
And you're going to give me a range.
et tu vas me donner ta moyenne.
Oh.
Because you're going to book, because you're going to bookend,
Oh,
you
I see what
said.
you're saying. July 18th to January 20th.
Did you translate that? No, I thought not.
July 18th,
Alors, 18 juillet,
January 2025.
du 18 juillet au 25, 20, 25, au 20 janvier 2025, pardon.
So you're going from July to January.
Donc, toi, tu irais de la période de juillet à janvier.
That's the Sunday law.
Pour toi, c'est ça la LD.
No, I think the July 18th, I was thinking it was the image of the beast.
Alors, je pense que le juillet, nous donne cette image de la bête.
We're just doing Sunday law.
Okay.
Ok, nous faisons
So
juste
November
la LD.
5th, I would go November 5th to January 20th.
Alors, je choisirais plutôt là, donc le 5 novembre ou 20 janvier.
I have no idea what image of the beast means. Some people might.
Je n'ai aucune idée de ce que signifie l'image de la bête.
So I'm going to say to you, tell me what the Sunday law event is, and you're going to say it's November to January.
Alors, je vais te poser la question, alors quel est l'événement de la LD? Toi, tu dirais le 5 novembre jusqu'au 20 janvier.
Is that correct?
C'est juste?
I'm okay with the bookending
Je suis d'accord avec le bouquin,
because I don't think the date is salvational.
parce que je ne pense pas que la date soit salutaire.
The test is equality.
Le test est l'égalité.
So if I asked you, when's the end of the Sunday law?
Alors, si je te pose la question, quelle est la fin de la LD?
You'll say January.
Tu vas dire en janvier.
That's what you just said,
C'est ce que tu viens de dire, hein?
unless I misunderstood you.
À moins que je ne t'ai mal compris.
So we're in the Sunday law period.
Donc, nous sommes dans la période. Là,
No, we're at the Sunday law waymark.
non, nous sommes à la balise de la LD.
And you said that waymark is a period of time from November to January.
Et tu as dit que cette balise représente une période de temps entre novembre à janvier.
I think that's what you said.
Je pense que c'est ce que tu as exprimé.
But the date I focus on is November 5th.
Oui, le jour sur lequel je me focalise, c'est le 5 novembre.
So if I asked you what the end of the Sunday law is, you'd say January.
Donc, si je te demande quelle est la fin de la LD, tu vas me dire que c'est janvier.
Is that correct?
Est-ce que c'est juste?
I guess if that's how a bookend would work, yes.
Oui, je pense que c'est ainsi que comment fonctionnerait le bouquin.
It's your bookend. I didn't do it.
Mais c'est le
It's
tien,
not-
ce n'est pas moi qui l'ai
I'm just trying to reiterate or clarify what you're saying. I'm not doing anything.
J'essaie juste de réitérer ou bien de clarifier ce que tu viens de dire.
I've just drawn what you said.
J'ai juste dessiné ce que tu as exprimé.
November, January.
Tu as dit que la LD serait du 5 novembre au 20 janvier.
The beginning and the end.
Ça serait ça le commencement et la fin de la LD.
Is that's what you said, yeah?
C'est ce que tu viens de dire, n'est-ce pas?
I guess I'm not okay with it.
Peut-être que je ne suis pas d'accord avec.
I'm still, November 5th is my main date.
Parce que le 5 novembre, c'est vraiment ma date principale.
So you don't agree with bookending.
Donc tu n'es pas d'accord avec
I guess not.
cette période de commencement et de fin.
So you don't agree with at least some of these speakers when they bookend. They're wrong to do that according to you.
Selon toi, tu n'es pas d'accord avec certains de ces orateurs oratrices qui font commencer et finir la LD à une certaine date.
I guess because they've all given their dates, but they all say, I'm okay with book ending, without explanation.
Sorry, can you repeat?
Oh. Each speaker has a date
Chaque orateur, oratrice ont une date, a une date
that they promote,
qu'ils promeuvent.
and then they say, I'm okay with book ending.
Et ensuite, ils disent, moi je suis d'accord avec la période de commencement et fin de la LD.
Okay. So I got that,
Oui, j'ai saisi ce point
and I asked you,
et je t'ai posé la question.
are you okay with bookending?
Est-ce que toi, tu es d'accord avec cette période de commencement?
First you said yes, and then you're saying no.
Premièrement, tu as acquiescé et ensuite tu as dit non.
I'm okay with it, but my focus is November 5th. I guess I can't go any further than that.
Je suis d'accord avec, mais je pense que je me focalise sur le 5 novembre.
I'll help you go further.
Donc je vais t'aider un peu plus.
The Sunday law is a period of time
La loi du dimanche est une période de temps
beginning in November, ending in January.
qui commence en novembre et se termine en janvier.
I'm just repeating what you've said.
Je suis juste en train de répéter ce que tu as dit.
Is that correct?
Est-ce que c'est correct?
As best I can understand, yes.
Par rapport à ce que je comprends, oui.
So then I could ask you, what's the end of the Sunday law?
Alors je pourrais te poser la question, quelle est la fin de la LD?
Waymark.
La balise de la LD.
And you'd say January.
Et tu dirais donc janvier.
And if I ask you what the beginning of the Sunday law is, you'd say November.
Et si je te pose la question, quel est le commencement de la LD, tu diras donc en novembre.
So you are okay with bookending.
Donc tu es d'accord
Yes.
avec cette période de week-end, de commencement et fin.
Okay?
Okay.
Anyone else?
Quelqu'un d'autre?
Annabelle. I was about to ask, I can finish any time you want me to now. I can't even. Is that 15?
Je peux finir à n'importe quel moment.
Go ahead, Annabelle.
It doesn't seem to make sense to me that the beginning of a period of time should begin with a period of time.
Ça ne me semble pas cohérent que le commencement d'une période de temps va commencer avec une période de temps.
And when the golden image was set up, it had to be set up all at once. It couldn't
Parce
be.
que quand l'image dorée d'or, la statue d'or, se tenait debout, elle devait se tenir debout une seule fois.
Finished? So, did everybody understand what Annabelle said?
Est-ce que vous avez compris la pensée d'Annabelle?
So, let's walk through a little bit together, Annabelle. This is 2019. Do you know what this date would be? If you're not sure, it doesn't matter. That's the close of probation. That's the loud cry. Someone help me?
2018?
That's 2018. That's when Tess goes to the United States and delivers what we call the Midnight Cry message. You familiar with that? Yep. Vaguely? Yep. Okay. And 2019 is when we split with the FFA. Annabelle, do you know what this date would be? The beginning?
2014.
Thank you. So, all of us should have some understanding not to this bit, but what date is this one? Someone can just shout out. 2012. Is that what you said? So in 2012, this would be the agitation. Some people might call it, what would you call it, Jonathan? Label. What label would you give it? So could I call it a loud cry? Okay. So there's a cry in 2012 that says, in 2 years, there's a Sunday law. And everyone in the know of what's happening, because it was all done behind closed doors, everyone who knew about this, I'm going to say something, it was all done behind closed doors. They reject that. Because the question that they ask is, what are you actually predicting besides a date? And the answer was, what was the answer when the people say, date's fine, but what are you predicting? And what was the answer to that question? I have no idea. So there was no idea what's being predicted. Just some nebulous idea that it's 2014. So somewhere in this history here, something significant happens. What's that? What's the significant thing that happens in the history between 2018 to 2019?
Elder Tess told us what it was.
Even though this is a study and I say we're not going to give titles, I can't stop calling her Elder Tess either. So Elder Tess is going to take us back
Donc l'ancienne Tess, elle va nous ramener en arrière
5 years.
5 ans
It's been 5 years, and she's going to say, "Let me tell you what the Sunday law was."
et elle va nous dire, laissez-moi vous dire ce qu'était la LD.
Annabelle, do you remember what she said?
Est-ce que tu te rappelles,
Not in detail, but just sort of as a general idea.
pas en détail, hein, mais une idée générale?
She showed us that it was the beginning of the Sunday law time period.
She certainly did do that.
Elle nous a montré que c'était le commencement de la période de la LD.
She did a little bit more.
Mais elle a fait un peu plus.
Can anybody help us?
Est-ce que quelqu'un peut nous aider?
There were about 26 various events.
Il y avait environ 26 événements différents
That she was able to link
qu'elle était en mesure de relier
to what the Sunday law was representing.
pour estimer ce que représentait la LD.
So she said
Elle a dit
that this singular waymark, the Sunday law,
que cette valise singulière là, de la LD
which triggers the Sunday law dispensation,
qui a déclenché la dispensation de la LD,
actually was a series of events
en fin de compte, c'était une série d'événements
that happened over a period of time
qui se sont déroulés durant une période de temps.
She could be wrong,
Elle aurait pu se tromper, hein.
but most people accepted that model, that idea.
Mais beaucoup de personnes ont accepté cette idée, ce concept.
I think all people did.
Et je pense que tout le monde a.
So I think when you go back to her model of the pre-Sunday law,
Et je pense que quand on retourne dans ce modèle de la loi du dimanche des prêtres,
she did talk about bookending or having a period of time for a singular waymark.
elle a parlé donc de cette période comme début et fin pour une valise.
So we do have precedents for it.
Nous avons donc des précédents pour ce point.
Does that help answer your concern, Annabelle?
Alors Annabelle, est-ce
Good.
que ça t'aide dans tes questions?
Okay, so I'm going to summarize and then we're going to close.
Alors, je voudrais résumer.
We haven't quite got to a conclusion yet, though.
Alors, nous ne sommes pas encore parvenus à une conclusion.
So, the reason why we're talking about the Sunday law in the way we are
Alors, la raison pour laquelle nous parlons de la LD, de la manière dont nous le faisons,
is because we've come to a time where we should be mature,
parce que nous sommes parvenus à une époque où nous devrions être matures.
which means we should be able to understand, learn, and make decisions for ourselves.
C'est que nous sommes arrivés à une période où nous devrions prendre des décisions par nous-mêmes et apprendre.
There are 5 speakers,
Nous avons donc 5 orateurs oratrices.
and what binds all of their studies together is that they're connected to the US elections last year.
Nous avons donc mis leurs études ensemble et nous avons dit qu'elles étaient toutes focalisées sur les élections américaines de 2020.
There were 5 significant events,
Il y a 5 événements importants,
but they focus on 4 of them.
mais ils se sont focalisés sur 4.
The August DNC is not one that's on their radar.
Alors, le 18 juillet, la CNR n'est pas celle qui est sur le radar.
I asked the question,
Poser la question,
is it salvational to know which of these dates,
j'ai posé la question si c'était salutaire de connaître la date,
which is the correct one?
savoir quelle est la date correcte.
Gloria said yes.
Gloria a répondu par affirmative.
Others have said,
D'autres ont
And that was, I think, Debbie and Kathy. No, it's not salvational. And the reason it's not salvational is because that singular waymark, the Sunday law, can be considered as a period of time. And the term that's used to describe that is bookending. There's not clarity on whether or not Eleanor is teaching this. But at least 4 speakers have been listed. And we just spoke in this graphic about a defense that you can in fact have this period of time or bookending of the Sunday law waymark. So I'm going to call this the priest's Sunday law. So I'm sure these speakers are going to message me and set the record straight. But I don't think all these 4 people are bookending the Sunday law. I think it might sound like that. They may have given the suggestion but I don't think they all would believe it in the way that it's been described here. And I think that's one of the reasons when I probed Kathy that she was struggling with this bookending concept. When I pushed Kathy, that's why I think she struggled with this bookending concept. That when I asked her to really tell us what she thinks, she gravitates to one event. So I will correct this if I'm wrong. But I don't think Aaron teaches it, and I don't think Elder Terry does either. I did have a hand up, but we're closed now, and we'll carry on tomorrow. And hopefully they'll get back to us by then. Let's pray. Holy God, please guide and direct us to a clearer understanding of your word. Help each of us to be able to discern what's right and what's wrong. And therefore we will be able to come to our own conclusion based upon the evidence in front of us. In Jesus' name, amen.